back. I got my boy Maurice Good all the way from New York on the phone. Man, we in here. It's going to go down tonight. I'm telling you, I ain't playing no games. It's going down. I'm telling you. You know how we roll. It's real. Listen, I'm telling you, call everybody. Text Keisha and them. Text Cortez and them. Put it on Facebook. Go on my page. Share the link. I'm telling you, it's going down. Slap it all on Instagram and Twitter because I'm telling you tonight. Listen, it's in the house. In fact, you can actually watch the show online, live. You can watch me in here tripping, just talking some real talk. And we'll be actually posting live quotes. You know how we do live quotes coming from this conversation. Again, I got my boy, brother Maurice Good on the line. Mo, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Pastor Ding? Miss Nancy, everybody, I'm just glad to be here with you for this dynamic show that we're about to have.
Wow. So I know all y'all that follow me on Facebook. Man, I'm telling you, I've been blessed to be traveling and doing a lot of things for my book. I've been preaching at different places. I've been able to sell my books and do little setups and all that kind of thing in different places. I mean, I'm really, really being blessed right now. So if you don't have What If I Had a Father, go to deanbooks.com and order your book now. And if you already have it and you read it, look, I want to do something different. If you read my book, I want you to take a selfie. I want you to do like a 30-second video and post it on my page on what you felt. What did you get from the book and how did the book, what did you get from the book and things of that nature. So, hey, come on, let's go. So tonight's topic, are you ready for this? Drum roll. I'm my own drummer. Y'all know I've been playing the drums for almost 30 years. Tonight's topic, are you ready? How deep is your love? Like versus lust versus love. Is it controlled emotions or calculated actions? And what makes the difference? You don't want to miss this. And in fact, me and Brother Mo, we was having a conversation on, right before we got on there. And, it got pretty good. And so when we think about this whole love piece, Mo, I know you got some stuff on your mind because we actually we was talking about mothers raising boys, the problems thereof. And many mothers, single moms that are raising children, especially boys, the older they get, and I'm a man, I know I was hard-headed. And mothers, they have the way they can love past your smart mouth. But then the problem is when they get to a certain age, it's always so embedded in them. It's like it's hard to stop them. Now they at the grocery store. Now they telling you how they feel about your new boyfriend. Now they telling you how they feel about whatever you're saying to them. Even if you being straight up with them, it can seem disrespectful to them, and they're speaking their mind now. What do you do? And so me and Maurice Good and some of the other fellas is coming. And listen, I'm telling you, Mo, what do you think about this issue? We was talking about this. What's on your mind?
Oh man, it's so deep, and the topics actually are intertwined between how deep is your love and lust and life, and the situation with mothers and sons. There's an old adage that says mothers raise their daughters and love their sons.
What? Hold on, say that again.
Mothers raise their daughters
Wow. Wow.
And so, it goes back to, if I'm a single mom and I have little Keisha and I have little Kareem, Kareem is now 12, but Kareem can stay out to 9 o'clock, but Keisha better be here by 7 o'clock.
Why is that?
And so the double standard that is being set, right? So Kareem, because now what that tells Kareem is that I'm the man of the house.
Wow.
At 12 years old, I'm the man of the house.
So
I don't know what it means to be a man, but I'm the man of the house because I'm mama's man.
Hey, man, I'm tired of you already. Keep going. Hold on, you said because I'm mama's man?
I'm mama's man.
Man.
Hey, mama has demonstrated.
No, hold on. Maurice. Hey. You said I'm what?
I'm mama's man.
Hey, you know what? It hit home because I was mama's man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay, because I was mama's man too.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And so the stage, the platform has been set because, I'm mama's man. I know it. Mama know it. And Keisha knows it. And then what happens is mama finds this cute, handsome guy. And so now there's a conflict within the home because now we got a battle between me, Kareem, little Kareem, and, Johnny. Johnny is 30-something-year-old man, and I'm 12 years old, and we battling for mama's affection. But this is how deep it goes. Actually, Johnny is battling for the lust of mama. I'm battling to hold on to my interpretation of love and power from mama.
Wow. Wow. Man, we got to get started on these. We got to write some books, man. We got to get started now because this right here, because mothers their love is so strong. Their love is so strong. And like you said, the double standard that happens, Keisha has to be in that 7.
That's right.
Kareem got to be in that 9. So Kareem's 12 and Keisha could be 13.
That's right. Keisha could be 15.
Yeah. And mama said, no, Keisha, you in the house, girl. Let me hey, listen, if you out there, you listening to this conversation, I know there's some more mama's mans out there. I know that there's some mothers out there that are raising their boys and it's tough. You need to dial in 614-577-1434. I want to hear from you. 614-577-1464. And if you don't want to call in, you can text us at 614-377-4592. Man, I got my boy Big L in the studio by default. And Mo, man, honestly, I could just sit back and chill. Like, let's go back to this whole mama's man thing.
So, and mama don't mean, it's not intentional, right? She don't intentionally, set out to make me her man. I become her man by default. And there's no other male in the house.
I was thinking the same thing. When you said that. So by default, the mom has to fall back on her son to be the head of the house, even when he isn't ready.
Absolutely.
It really isn't his house to have.
That's right.
But it end up being his house because dad ain't there. And, you know, and again, there's many situations. Dad could be dead. Daddy could have passed away, excuse me. Dad could be locked up. It could be in divorce. There's all kind of situations that attribute to fatherlessness. All I'm saying, like Brother Mo said, is by default. I mean, think about that. By default, I gotta fall back on my son. And that's a weight. Because when I look at my life, and I know y'all think about, y'all know what I'm talking about. I remember one time, because my mom, you know, back in the day, we talked about the drug issue that my mom had. And one time my mom owed a drug dealer some money. I was like 12 years old or something, 12, 13 years old. And I'm ready to go outside and play. My mother wasn't in the house. And my mom come up, like as I'm walking out the screen door, my mom hurry up and run in a panicky mode. Never seen her do that. And run behind me. And this grown man runs up and he slows down about 10 feet in front of me. I didn't know what happened. All I knew then is whatever you about to do to my mom, you got to do to me first.
That's right.
So by default, I could have got my butt kicked. This was a grown man. But I had to stand. I was Simba. You know what I mean? I had to stand up. And you know, really, we supposed to get anointed as the man of the house.
That's right.
Appointed as the man of the house. Goodness. Mo, I know. Come on, man. You mess it.
And you know, and that's what happens. You know, again, so it's by default. Our mere presence is why we're granted manhood, right? In terms of the symbolism of manhood, right? We're not talking about the true philosophy and concept of manhood. We're talking about the symbolism. Those are two totally different things. And so through the symbolism of what it means to be a man, you know, the fact that I'm the only male or the oldest male in the household, I get the crown.
Wow.
I get the crown until someone else comes in, and now we're in competition.
And that's a pressure. That's a pressure. That's a L. I know you. I mean, because you the oldest, right? Out of your siblings.
Yeah.
It's a pressure. What you think, man?
Yeah, it's most definitely the pressure. Like, you know, my mother came from the same background. We came from the same background. She in the streets using drugs and whatnot. And it was a lot of nights that me and my little brothers, we linking up in the streets. Like, bro, where we gonna head tonight? Like, I'm like, you seen mommy? And he's like, nah, you ain't seen her? I'm like, nah. Let's go over here and check, because we were staying with a user, one of our friends, basically. And we had just checked with them and see what's up with, you know what I mean? Go back over there. Like, so it was like a lot. It was the pressure, like it's with these young guys that's getting caught up in some stuff that we trying to get out of, like a savage life. You know what I mean? I hear dudes glorifying it, you know, and it's our younger generation that is doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, I was doing any and everything trying to get up out of that life. You know what I mean? Like not knowing where mom's at. You know what I mean? Got to go check with the latest crackhead to find out where your mom's at. Like, we came a long way. Like,
you know, and for me, I didn't want to be mama's man. You know what I mean? Like that did you want to be mama's man? I didn't want to be my mama's man.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? And to me, I mean, you know, like our backgrounds are similar in terms of like the street life and things of that nature. But there's people that, you know, became mama's man, and they're rich, or they grew up in a middle class environment. I mean, single moms, it crossed the lines. And so I'm like, hearing Brother L, hearing Brother Mo, seeing what's happening in society, listening to people that are having issues. I'm a pastor too, and a lot of the single mothers that, I mean, I know, I'm thinking about 3 or 4 single mothers at my church right now are having problems with their son, in particular, the teenage sons, and most times the oldest child, but sometimes the second child, because the next child or the next son looks at what the older son got away with and try to push his weight too.
Mm-hmm.
What should we say if a mom right now is listening, trying to make her son listen in? What is she grabbing him by the boy? You better get on this phone right now. You need to listen to this. Listen, because you're gonna learn something today. What do we say to them, Mo? What do we say to them?
Well, we have to change the dynamics. It starts with mom.
Okay.
Mom has to she has to take that pressure off of that child, because that's what he is. He's a child, you know, and so she has to take that pressure off of him. Number one, and it's a tough situation, because he may be all she had to depend on. So if I'm a single mom, I always like to put myself in their shoes to try to understand, you know, and I listen to them. And so, like, there's a young man that I'm helping right now, you know, I've been a mentor to. And so, like, he's the oldest at 17. He has a 13-year-old sister. He has a 6-year-old and a 4-year and a 2-year-old sibling. And he's his mother's go-to. He is it for mom. He's the go-to. And he's conflicted with being a 17-year-old teenager and having to be a 17-year-old man. And so those feelings within him are conflicted, right? And so mom, and so him and mom, and I'm helping them to work through it, but him and mom, they have these blow-ups at times, because he just want to be a normal 17-year-old who gets to hang out with his friends. And mom is saying, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And, you know, or because of her frustration that she doesn't have a man to help her with these 4 children, you know, he ends up getting the brunt of her frustration. You know, so it's like when we in relationships, you know, husband and wife argue. Mom and son argue, and son will say, you know, she arguing with me like I'm her husband, like I'm her man. And he recognized it. That's how deep it goes. He recognized that mom is using him as her man. And so mom, you know, has to look for other outlets. That's why it's so important for us to have support networks, right? That's why it's important for single moms to start creating their own single moms network.
Man, Brother Mo, we need some mothers to call in, because, I mean, and like what and some of the stuff we talking about, we experience, but then on the other hand, some of it is theory.
That's right.
Because when I talk to single mothers, many of them have to work 2 and 3 jobs, and they may have at least 2 or 3 kids, other children, and it becomes a management thing. How does because the mother, I still have to manage the household. I still have to get groceries. I still have to make sure all the bills are paid. I still have to go to parent teacher conferences. I still have to just help you with your homework. I mean, all kind, like everything falls on her. And so that's a pressure in itself. So if I was to, and I'm thinking, right, we're actually thinking the solution. We actually giving advice, our opinion, brainstorming, if you will. I think if, especially if the child is old enough and mature enough, I think there need to be like consistent family meetings with clear expectations and goals. This is why I need you to do this. Because sometimes when it's not explained, we feel like we're being made to do something. Mm-hmm. And when we feel like we are, especially as a man, as a young boy, we don't want nobody to really, we don't care who it is, we don't want nobody to make us do nothing.
That's right.
And so when you making me do this and you making me do that, then I'm gonna be rebellious in other areas. Because I don't want to watch my sisters. I don't want to watch my brothers. I want to go out and play ball. I want to go out and hang out with my friends. I want to go skateboarding. I want to go ride the bike. No, you got to sit here and watch them or him or her, So it becomes a responsibility, a level of responsibility and commitment on the child. And there is some pros and cons or pluses and deltas to this, because it's also framing, or I want to say in a way is training if the child up to be a leader. Like, you're already a natural born leader, but then it's like you being pushed out of the eagle's nest before you can actually really get thorns in the nest.
For mom, I need you to. So for mom is saying, I need you to take on this responsibility.
Right.
For me as the child, what I'm hearing is, I need you to take on this burden. That's what the child hears.
Right.
I need you to take on this burden that I don't want to deal with. So I'm putting it on you. That's the translation that the child hears.
Right.
So mom is saying, I need you to take on this responsibility because I'm unable to do it right now. And she may not even she may not use the word unable, because she may not be in a place where she feels comfortable using that word. Because as single mom, right, she's the lioness. And because she's the lioness, she feels like she can't show any fear to no one, not even her cubs.
Wow.
She has to be strong 100% of the time.
Wow.
Out of fear that someone is going to try to take advantage of her. And she can't let that happen, because she's not in a place to let that happen, because if she lets it happen, then that's another burden. That's more energy that she has to exhibit to rustle back, her dominance, her position as the lion.
Wow.
So rather than put myself in a vulnerable position, I'm going to always come from a place of my high legs and always be in strike mode.
So what I'm hearing, I mean to cut you off, because I just got to chime in real quick. So it's instinct.
Absolutely. Instinct and survival.
Wow. So you kind of go back to you go to your natural habitat. You go back to, you go what feels right, what feels comfortable.
It's like the young man who has been in the street and now he's in the work world, and it's new for him. It's uncomfortable for him. And, if it gets too sticky, he's just going to go back to what he knows, because that's his comfort zone. Well, the same thing for single moms. I'm going to draw on what I know, my comfort zone, because my comfort zone in my mind keeps me safe.
Wow. And sometimes that's when the child doesn't really have a problem with you bringing a man into our lives, because I don't want that weight anyway.
That's right. Let him deal with it.
Wow.
Now, but the problem with that is, with let him deal with it, is we don't know how he's going to deal with it. Is he going to deal with it with his mouth?
I almost hung up on you by accident.
Or is he going to deal with it with his fists and his feet?
Wow. 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 So then that comes into play on the whole relationship issue or piece with the mom, because sometimes maybe the mom indirectly doesn't want that pressure on her child anyway.
That's right.
So let me, not so, I mean, all women aren't out there desperately trying to find a man, but many women, their eyes are open for that guy that they feel like that can love them and be a part of their child or children's lives, to help make it better and to build on. But then at the same time, it could be rushed because I need this to happen pretty fast. I got 2 jobs. I need you to get it. I need us to get in gear fast because I need to be able to come off of one of these jobs. And so you just got it, like you said, you got all these different things happening. And so, which ends up being a mess. So you got this, it's almost like you got a box full of yarn that's untied. And so you're trying to find a specific color, but you got to dig at the bottom for it.
That's right.
And so now everything is tangled.
That's right.
And so somebody out there, your life is tangled. And our prayer, our hope is that we can provide, man, I feel the Lord pushing me now. I feel like that God has given us some insight and some revelation to provide for somebody out there. If it's just one person that's living in a tangled situation where your child, your son is your man, and you're tired because you're weighted down by just providing.
That's right.
Just to provide. You know what I mean? Just to, that alone out there, you just to provide for your children. And all of the stuff mamas got to do, sometimes they got to degrade themselves and work jobs they don't want to work, and then boom, you get home, your kids say something smart to you. You don't know, all of the stuff I went through just to put a meal on the table. And so the conversation isn't happening in a healthy manner.
That's right.
Because there's so much frustration, because what most single moms, what they're doing now is not what they want to do.
That's right.
Because the situation has forced them to do things or work at places where they really don't want to, they really don't see themselves working. And now, what's next? What's next? What's next? What do I do next? And like I was talking about Sunday, many times we focus too much on the problem and not the solution. So what's Mo, Brother L, anybody out there listening, what's the solution? You know what I mean? Because we can talk about the problem all day, but what are 2 things, 3 things, 4 things that we can give these mothers that's struggling trying to raise these young men, knowing that it's going to be hard for her to try to raise a man. So all she can do is loving. because I really can't raise you to be a man. I'm gonna give you all I got. I'm gonna give you all I got. But you need a male role model. And then that puts the weight, man, Mo, I got so much. That puts the weight on men that don't got nothing to do with that situation.
Boy, you're talking to me right now.
So I have nothing to do with that. But then the burden becomes on the man that's doing his job, because there's a man that left his job.
Well, I wrote down some notes. Once I saw the topic, I wrote down some notes.
Okay.
And actually, I wrote down some notes, but I also found some notes from a male group, support group that I did some time ago. And I brought in this pastor, you know, who had been married. He'd been married twice, and in his second marriage, you know, he's going 30 years strong. And so he talked about merger versus marriage.
Wow.
And I said, that's what I said. I said, wow. So I said, Pastor, you got to elaborate on that. What do you mean by merger versus marriage? And he said that some people enter into a merger and not a marriage. You know, it's like Frito-Lay and Pepsi. You know, Frito-Lay, the corn chip company, and Pepsi Cola. So they're going to merge to become this snack food supergiant. Because they see the end goal of power versus the marriage of, I love this person and I'm willing to be committed. I'm going to commit myself to this person, and vice versa, out of love.
Wow.
Love will be our blueprint and our foundation.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I got all these bombs dropping in my mind like Hiroshima. Like, because women that are single and they have multiple children, they say, you know, like let's say somebody like me that's not in that situation, it's easy for me to say, go spend time with yourself. You need to take care of yourself. Do something special for you. Love you. But then they looking back, I don't got time to show myself no love.
That's right.
So they lose their swag. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So they might not have, like you said, have the support system. Nobody really, you know, it's hard to trust people to watch your children nowadays, because somebody always letting even if they ain't crazy, they let somebody crazy over their house.
That's right.
And like you just said, the whole marriage versus merger. And there's a book I want to recommend for men and women alike that are single. It's called R.A. Vernon's 10 Rules of Dating. And before you say I do, I want you to read that book. It's not a long read, but it's a good read, and it will help you and bless you. Again, R.A. Vernon's 10 Rules of Dating will bless you. Because sometimes we move too fast when we should be moving slow.
So that's where I got to jump in at.
Go ahead.
See, because that's what happened. So a lot of times we move too fast, you know, and folks move fast because of those needs, right? So, like, let's talk about that 3-letter word that begins with an S, you know. Then there's an E, and then there's an X, you know. And so that word sex, right? Oh, well, you know, I'm an adult, and he's an adult, or, you know, I'm an adult and she's an adult, so we're going to do what adults do. However, right, the more we do what we do, there's a connection that's being made. And with that connection is the experiences that we come with. Some people call it baggage. I call it experience. And so we come with those experiences, and we also come in within those experiences are some hurts and some joys. For some folks, it might be more hurt than joy. For others, it might be more joy than more hurt. And so if you have a person who has more joy than hurt, and you have this other person have more hurt than joy, then as they say, they unevenly yoked.
Wow.
Now, that person who has more joy than hurt, they have a choice in them. They have a choice to make. Do I really like this person, and do I try to stick it out? Do I do my best to stick it out, or do I cut and run?
Wow.
And if I cut and run, I may cause this person even more hurt.
Wow.
But if I stick around, things might get too messy and complicate my life, and I got a lot of joy going on.
Wow. You about to bring the best out of me.
Yeah. Let me chime in real quick, because I feel like it's like, I think conversation, like communication, like if the father or the mother, whoever doesn't have the children or whatnot, the communication has to be there, like regardless. Like if y'all not together, if y'all unevenly yoked or whatnot, and one person just don't want to be in a relationship or don't want to do it that way, and don't see it in the future anytime soon, a communication, a bond still has to be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and there's really nobody else that can be there, the father for real. Like, you know what I mean? Besides Jesus. Like, I mean, it's a lot of guys that can step up and whatnot, but that connection from a father to his own seed, his own son, his own daughter, like nobody can feel that void. So it's like, on both ends, they have to be like sacrifice. Like, I don't care how much hurt, how much pain, how much joy, it don't matter. Like, you got to communicate, and then communication got to come to some type of solution, basically. Like, where I can't just keep saying communicate. Y'all got to communicate and come up with a solution to help this child out, to, you know what I mean, make this life better, you know what I mean, loving life for that child, basically. But it all starts with communication. Like,
I want to take it a step further, because communication is a mug. I believe you got to know what you want first. What do I want as a man? Because many people date without purpose.
mm-hmm.
And so if your purpose is, hey, I'm just lonely, or I just need a woman for sex, then that's what your outcome is going to be. It's going to end up hurt. It's going to end up, it's always going to end up in somebody being hurt. But if it's, hey, I want to, not only do I want to be loved, but I want to show love. You know what I'm saying? I feel something pushing me. I don't just want to say I want somebody to love me, but I have it to give back. And before I can really show love to somebody, I feel like you got to get to know yourself first. And many people, they don't spend enough time with them. So by the time they get with somebody, you trying to find yourself. Goodness. Oh goodness. Go ahead.
Because you hit on several points. One, in terms of communication, right?
Right.
Now, we say communicate. But if I say to her, right, pick me up a White Owl on your way home. That's my communication. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, you may say, well, brother, that ain't communication. Who are you to tell me that that's not communication? That's how it was communicated to my mama. That's how I received it. That's how I'm giving it. So, like, in terms of communication, the question has to be, how do you see your communication? How do you view your own communication? Do you think your communication style is good? Do you think it could use some work? Right? So asking those reflective questions, right? The same thing with spending time with yourself. Guess what? I might be too afraid to spend time with myself because it may just bring up too many bad memories.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so it's easier for me to go to the club every weekend, despite me having these kids at home, right? That I left with mama, or I left with Big Mama, or Miss Betsy, or whoever. Despite me having these kids, every weekend I'm at the club turning up. Why? Because I got some demons that I'm not ready to face right now. And if you force me to deal with something that I'm not prepared to deal with, it could have consequences that nobody may be prepared for.
Wow.
So it gets real deep. It gets real deep.
Wow. You said something earlier about like the mask, like lust wearing love's mask.
That was me.
That's me. That's all me.
I was, and I'm not bragging about it. I'm using myself because that's how good, that's how great God has been in my life. Where He took me from being a hurt boy, a hurt grown boy, who was a womanizer as a result of those unresolved feelings. He took me from being a womanizer who did not respect women because I didn't know how to respect them. It wasn't that I didn't want to respect them. I just didn't know how to respect women. And so for me, it was about, how many notches can I get on my belt? And so it came a time when I had to go from being a grown boy to being an adult male. That adult male, all I wanted to do was get my own place so then I can bring as many women in and out of my apartment as I wanted. That's what my apartment, when I was in my 20s, that's what my apartment served. It served as a hotel for myself. It was my own personal hotel, right? And so the thing is, though, right, my lust was masked in the description of love. So I'm giving her lust, but I'm giving it to her in such a way that she is identifying it as love. And how is she identifying it as love? It's because she's giving me all of the ammunition so that I can put my lust in that pretty box to make it appear that it's love, right? So we on the phone, she's telling me how her last boyfriend did her, how her baby father did her, how this one and that one. And I'm like,
taking notes.
Soaking it up. Oh, I stand on my feet all day. I wish I had somebody to rub my feet. Check.
You just create a checklist off of. Wow.
Check. Oh, I wish I had somebody to, wash my hair, help me wash my hair. Check. I wish I had somebody who would just cook for me at least once a week. Check. And so in her mind, like, wow, this guy really gets me. He really listens. He understands me.
Wow. Until
I'm tied with her, and then she sees the other side of me.
You said there's the other side?
until she see the other side of me. And now I'm everything but except a child of God. But beforehand, I was this great man. I was different. I wasn't like all the rest of those guys. See, and she telling her girlfriends, you eavesdropping. You hear her in the other room. Girl, he ain't like all the rest of them. He's a good man. And I'm sitting there with my Chester Cat grin on. I'm just a grinning. Mm-hmm. Check.
Wow.
And until I've had enough. And when I have enough, then I start pulling back.
Wow.
I don't talk to you like I used to. What happened? I'm busy. Work and, create. I got to help Big Mama out. I got to do this. I got to start creating those distractions and putting up those walls.
But here's the thing. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I
okay. I think with the whole checklist, many women know that they're giving you the ammo.
That's right.
So they doing that so they can have desire fulfilled. They said, okay, I'm gonna tell you about what my ex-boyfriend didn't do. I'm gonna tell you about how he treated me. I'm telling you that so that you won't do what he did.
That's right.
Oh goodness. And so, my thing is this. Hey, focus, man. I tell them at church, seek ye first the kingdom of God, Matthew 6:33, and all of his righteousness and all these things shall be added. When I was single, I dated with purpose. And many people nowadays, they just don't date with purpose. And if they do date with purpose, the other person may not want what they want that quick. And then the pressure is on, especially for a guy that has an experienced marriage or seen a successful marriage in his life. And all she's talking about is, I want to get married. Maybe her mom is putting pressure on her, all her friends is getting married, just all these different things. And so now, he's being pressured to do something he's not even really ready to do. But he likes you, but he ain't ready to marry you. And then therefore, boom, y'all get married. The first year you start going through all kind of hell. And boom, 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 you ready to get divorced in the first year. And so I'm tired of counseling people and talking to people when they ready to leave each other because they didn't take the proper steps up front. And they masked the lust with love. And it just got to get to a place where you can see past the lust, and see the agape, the unconditional love. Because many people miss out on. My fault, Mo. I got this one part. Because when in the Greek translation, it got about 3 or 4 different meanings, if not more. You got phileo, where we get the word Philadelphia for brotherly love, or then you have storge, which is kind of family love, like how I love my family, and then you have eros, where it's the sexual love, the eros, the erotic. That's where we get erotic from, and then you have agape, which is unconditional. So many people can't identify because in the English, we say love, that means everything. I love my cat. I love my wife. But really, I agape my wife and I storge my cat. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what's happening is we are getting love all confused. Therefore, it ends up in eros, but you think it's agape. Or trying to make eros agape, and that would never happen. Because if I give him the goods, he gonna love me. Because I'm gonna change him. How did we get? Hey, no, how did we get all the way from the son being mama's man Go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off.
Brother, it's all connected. And see, and that's why as a family, we are in the condition that we're in because we don't see where the dots connect, right? We think that each dot is its own entity and we deal with that one particular dot, not understanding that these dots are connected and they create a picture. It's like the when your children are small and they have the connected dot book that they use to trace that creates the picture. Well, each one of these situations is a dot, and those dots create a picture, but we don't see the overall picture because we continuously take the dot on its own entity, and I'm going to deal with this dot, not understanding where this dot is in relation to all of the other dots that have created this picture.
Wow.
And so that's what we have to do as a family, right? And for some of our family members, they're too closely connected. They're too closely connected with the dots. So, as you spoke about earlier, mama working 2 or 3 jobs, she don't have time to see the dot. And so it takes somebody within her village to be able to see the dot and point the dots out to her. Because we truly believe that if you know better, you do better.
Wow. Wow.
And so once we point out the dots to her, right, and you may have to point out the dots to her 3 or 4 times, not 1 or 2 times. You may have to point out the dots 3 or 4 times in order for it to truly sink in. Because this journey that we call life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so, you know what? You may have to point out the dots 3 or 4 times for her or him to say, wow, I get it now. And so that's what we have to do, and in terms of just like our sisters carry a heck of a burden.
Yes.
They carry a heavy burden because I gotta be mom, I gotta be dad,
right.
I gotta be your best friend,
right.
I gotta be all of these things. There's times, unfortunately, when you see me as your enemy because you want to go left and I want to go right. And so now, we got all of these. Mom is wearing all these different hats. She's wearing all these different hats, and like it's tiresome. Her head hurt, her neck hurt, from wearing all these hats. And then, here comes this guy, right? Going back to the lust versus light versus love, right? And so now here comes this guy, and he got his own, and he has his own agenda, his own motives.
Wow.
And because she's so tired of wearing all these hats, she's, if he come halfway decent, he don't even have to be the Billy D. Williams of Billy D. Williams. He don't have to be the man. He just has to have some potential and carry himself in a respectable light. Being respectable and being a respectable light stage are 2 totally different things. All he has to be is respectable light. And she say, you know what? I think he might be the one.
Wow.
Just that alone will allow her to take off some of them hats and give him some of those hats to wear.
Wow. Wow. What a way to sum this up. And man, this is a conversation that can go on for days. Because I was over here just listening to you, and how brothers can concur with the woman in conversation or with the mother in conversation of saying, hey, I've been in a relationship that was similar. And desperate people do desperate things.
That's right.
And so it could be totally reversed where the woman is saying everything that the man want to hear because he wants a certain thing out of the relationship. So all in all, I know Rome wasn't built in the night, but we are on holyhillsradio.com at Holla Me with Maurice Good and Ellis Thompson, aka Brother L. And we just trying to find and give solutions to a problem that has literally swept through our country like a thief in the night. We need fathers back in the homes. We need families to reunite. We need communities to become a village again. It's so many different things we need to do. And this is a platform that we are using to specifically hinder what the devil is trying to do in our society. And not only hinder what he's trying to do, but we are trying to crush his agenda on taking the fathers out of the homes and putting this weight on mothers. I mean, I'm seeing this weight on mothers to it get to a point, man, I know we gotta go, but it get to a point where they identify prescription medication to calm him down or to calm her down because I don't know what to do. He's acting out in school. Let's up his dosage because he's not calming down, or he's doing this, and this. It's just so many different issues that come from this. That's why you got to be a good judge of character, right? You got to be a good judge of who you put yourself around, your environment. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You gotta, your network is your net worth. You gotta put yourself around. If you're going to be around people, be around good people. I'd rather you be by yourself than be around a bunch of people that can't help you. And so, again, man, Mo, man, I appreciate you, Brother L. I appreciate you. No Father Left Behind. We coming at this hard. And in fact, Mo, I was getting interviewed last week in this magazine called Black Wall Street. A friend of mine, Nicole Rogers, shout out. She owned it. She's down in Atlanta. And they were interviewing me, asking me about solutions. How do we stop this epidemic? And we building a dream team of men, of women that's going to help transform this generation.
That's right.
That's why Dorothy Stoneman said, and I quote, she said, "You're not Generation X. You're the transformation generation." And if you can just, when she said that, I grabbed that thing and I said, oh my goodness, I'm going with this. And I'm going so hard. I was even on a phone interview today with John Maxwell's staff.
Wow.
I'm trying to go to another level. I need my voice to be heard. I can't sit down and wait for my blessing. Some blessings I got to go out there and take. So I'm so heated at the enemy because right now, and I gotta pray. Right now, there's somebody out there. Your son is acting up. Right now, you're in a situation with a man that in a situation like Mo described in terms of a guy masking his lust with love. You're in a situation right now where you have so many hats that you're hurting, you're tired. And the worst time to make any decision is when you're tired.
That's right.
And no wonder you keep failing because you're tired and you keep trying to make all these decisions and making all these choices, but you're too tired to think them through. So I just feel led to say a prayer as we close. Before we close, anything y'all like to say as we close?
I just want to say that it's such an honor to be selected by the Almighty
Wow.
to deliver His message to His children.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Man, this is real.
That's right.
This is real. This is real. That's why I mean Bishop T.D. Jakes, when he sat us in that room at that conference, he said y'all behind. He said, man, y'all gotta push harder. You know, we can't keep sitting there playing games all day on the Xbox and chilling on social media. You know, we gotta go hard for the change we want to see happen. And so I'm tired of moms coming to me crying. I'm sorry. I'm a leader. I hear this. This is not theory to me. I'm here. I'm getting I gotta hug your baby mama because you.
That's right. That's right.
She bringing your son, your daughter to me, and you got to get yourself together so that you can be the dude in his life. Hey, I'm gonna be a mentor, but I can't be everybody's dad. You know what I mean? I can't raise everybody's kid like I raised mine. I'm gonna give them the best I got when I can give it. But it's more men. We need more men to step up. Even if you're not a biological father, come on, man. Show her love. Make that marriage happen.
Can I share something real quick?
Please.
I've seen this on social media. It says nowadays the N-word will get a girl pregnant, leave her, then follow her on social media to watch his child grow up.
Wow. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then you wonder why your baby mom on social media half naked. Because she was looking for love and thought she had it from you. And then you dropped her like an ice cold glass of water in the desert, and it steamed when it hit the ground. It sizzled. It made her angry. It made her hateful. It made her full of vengeance. And she got every time you hurt her, you hurting those kids. You hurt. It's building this grief. It's building all these different emotional issues, and she's fighting to stay positive along with the burden of trying to go back to school, the burden of working 2-3 jobs, the burden of paying the bills, the burden of taking the kids to the doctor when they get sick, the burden of taking them to their regular checkups, the burden of going to their parent-teacher conferences trying to get them straight. It's a flat-out burden, and then you say, why am my son in sports? She don't got time to put him in football. That's why your son ain't athletic or out there able to. Man, why am I tripping all of a sudden? I'm tripping, man. So, man, we're gonna continue this conversation next week. We're gonna continue this conversation. So, man, I love you guys. I'm gonna pray, Father, I bless you and I thank you for. There's people out there that need this type of word. They need transparency. But overall, we need your spirit to guide us and to lead us and to direct us to all truths. Father, I just especially pray for the sons out there, the sons that really don't understand the weight they have when daddy is not present, whether he's incarcerated, whether he passed away, whatever the issue is. God, I pray you give him the strength. You give him the will to be obedient. You touch the mom so that the mom can see clearly. Take the weight off of her. Give her the peace that surpasses all understanding. And I can't leave the daddies out, no matter where he is. If he's smoking weed with his friends, if he's at the club, if he's a workaholic, if he's a preacher, if he's a custodian, if he's working at the White House, if he's a politician, Father, I pray right now that you touch him and you give him the mind to say, I'm going to take care of my baby. I'm going to be a part of his life. And so, Lord, as I conclude this prayer, bless my friends that's helping me out with this show. In fact, this ministry, this movement that you have impregnated us with. And so I thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Until next time, holla at me. God bless you.